you know what I mean? But it was my highest pin total. It was like 520, whatever, 525, something like that. I have to look. But consistency. I was consistent. Once I found my line, I was on, and yeah, I'm really happy. What I'm not happy with is the amount of spares I missed. The one game that I shot 184, I could have broke 200 easily if I made my spares and didn't choke. You know, that really was a big letdown. The rest of my game was pretty solid, and the last game I made up quite a bit. But then in the 10th, I kind of choked. You know, I only hit 9. I left like the 5 pin or something, and I fucking, or no, yeah, I think it was 5, I don't know, it was in the middle-ish, and I fucking missed it. I whiffed it. It's like, dude, this morning I went and practiced and literally hit every single spare, every single 10 pin. I missed like 3 10 pins tonight. Like, just felt wonky. So I got to go back and I got to drill them. I got to get my arrows right and my foot placement right and all that great stuff. Because I had my spares down. I had my one game that I shot perfect in practice. It was just all about spare game and, linking some strikes together. So tonight, I definitely left some points on the board, outside of just not, I strung together a ton of strikes. The last game I had like 3, 4 in a row. I gotta look. And I just whiffed it at the end. There was a big long wait at the end too, and I think that kind of fucked me up. But I really had my stroke corrected tonight. I played probably up like the 10 arrow, just up and in was my game tonight. Keeping a straight arm in my backswing and snapping up through, and they were blowing the pins up. To me, that's the best that my Crown Vic plays at. I took the Hazmat out of the bag once. I put it up, I shot, I got like 6 pins, and then I didn't go back to it the rest of the night. It's just my stroke for that just wasn't, I didn't want to I was so consistent with the Crown, with knowing my line for strikes and dialing in where my feet were, and my teammate kind of gave me, I don't know why I was thinking backwards. I kept missing right, and I was moving left. He was like, hey, wherever you were before, why don't you go like a board over? I did that, and I struck. It was just a mental lapse. So yeah, I just got to work on the spares tonight. Like I said, I could have had at least one game over 200 if I had made my spares. The third game, I can't be too hard on myself for the 171 in the third game because I opened it up with a gutter ball. Because Mr. City bowls. Gutter balled it, and then I got 9. So at least I got 9. But still, there was just some bonehead things that I did that I'll correct. I'll get there. And like I said, I can't complain tonight. It was my highest pin total. It was like 525. Very happy about that. And looking at last week, you get all hung up in these numbers, right? You get all hung up, and I think our team won 2, and then I don't know if we got the pin total, but I think we took the night. So I'll check the standings when they upload them. But you get all hung up on I didn't break 200. Yeah, but last week I broke 200 in the last game, and then I shot a 186, but my opening game was like a 140 or 133. 145, I think is what I said it was. And my pin total was only like 512 or 515 or something like that. And tonight it was 525. I actually had a higher pin total without breaking 200 in any of the game because I was just consistently high. That is the most consistent and high scoring series I've had. Because even when I shot 189, 203, I still opened up with like a 145. Or no, I think it was 145, 165. That's what it was. 145, 165, 203. And that was just a matter of that 203 game was I picked up all my spares, and I strung a shit ton of strikes together at the end. I usually get hot around the 5th. I kind of figure out the lane again, and then I get on a run, so I'm real happy with tonight. I've been drilling consistency. People ask, I see on the internet all the time, how do I get better at bowling? Consistency. just find what works and keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And tonight, you know what? My slide felt the best. My form felt the best. I was deep into my form and it felt comfortable. And I was keeping a nice straight arm and I was snapping up through, and my ball, and I was able to shoot it up and hit the pins at 16 miles an hour, not 13. You know, the Crown needs some speed. It's got a weak core. You know, it's kind of weak in general, in my opinion. If I throw it slow with a lot of with my rev rate on it, it dies, and it dies at the pins, and it doesn't plow through. Where the Hazmat is a very strong ball. I can throw that like 13 miles an hour with, you know, 230 rev rate, and it will spin up lane, catch, and drive through the pins. Where, you know, the Crown just isn't. That's not what it's made for. And yeah, you know, tonight showed that. I stuck with that ball, and I figured it out, and I feel good about it. So that's another week at league. What are you gonna do? You know, you gotta just, you know, I would rather be the consistent guy on the team. You know, other guys are struggling. The lead on the team, who averages over 200, you know, he was shooting a new 2.0, NU 2.0, and he was killing it in the first two games. Last game, the ball started dying, leaving. He's a lefty, consistently was leaving fucking sevens every single frame, like, you know, and then he left fives, and then he missed a few. You know, it just started to die. So he might want to look into something to, you know, for the third game. I love playing with a lefty though, because my right side, shooting up the right side, stayed nice and clean all night. I thought I had to start moving at one point. Oh man, we're sliding. Yo, so I started missing. Well, I realized I realized I started just missing my mark. So I was missing a little left, just a little. I even struck on a few of it. I was hitting the head pin kind of strong. Wow, it's all fucking ice. And I started to inch left a little bit, and then I started missing left, and I'm like, wait a sec, stop. I went right back, farther right than I had started, where my teammate had told me to go, and I started striking again. So it was really just me, my mechanics breaking down at release and shit, and, you know, muscling it a little bit. And if I don't muscle my release and I just let it happen, oh, it's money. It's so rewarding. But tonight I was actually able to get some speed on the ball without muscling it, with just using my swing, with just, you know, penduluming my arm and rotating at the break, you know, at the line, at the release, I mean. And yeah, travel down, and you could almost just expect it. And then all of a sudden, whew, I gotta say, you know, I kept saying that ball, I didn't think it was doing what I seen people on the internet do with it. And I gotta understand, I don't have a ton of rev rate. My rev rate's about 230, you know, and you know, I'm not gonna be able to every ball throw out there and have snap back. You know, I just don't have the rev rate. But what I do have is speed. And I've been slowing down a lot because I've been wanting the ball to work back. Mostly because I had started throwing the Hazmat. And the Hazmat, with my speed and low revs, I couldn't get it to react. So I was blowing it through the break point. So I started slowing down, all the way down to about 13 miles an hour. And I can get that ball now consistently to travel down, snap, like hockey stick snap. Drive through the pin, strike, you know. When I'm on a groove, there's some videos of it. It's smooth. This ball, I understand now, with my rev rate, when people say it gets angular, I'm like, when the fuck does this ball ever get angular? When I throw that motherfucker, you can watch it go down the lane, and then it and then it almost just woof, it makes a move. And when it makes a move at that speed, holy shit, I was blowing them son bitches up. You didn't know what the fuck hit them. So again, I'm very happy with tonight. Consistency, guys. Consistency. Practice the fundamentals. Figure out what works for you and your body. Everybody's body is different. And then do it. And embrace the suck. It's going to suck. You're going to suck for a while. It's not going to seem right. But tonight was the first night that when I committed, kept my arms straight, pendulum through, snapped up, got into my slide confidently. I could just tell by the way my slide felt that it was going to fucking strike. Like, so, and it left me consistent. Even when I missed the strike, I was leaving 10 pins or 9 pins, which to me normally is like, yeah, give me that. Give me fucking 9. Leave me one spare like that all day long. All day long, because I had a system. And tonight I felt like my system kind of fell apart. I don't know what I did. So I'm gonna have to go back to the lab and work on that. But we're gonna get it. And if I can get those spares cleaned up, man, I'll be bowling over 200 consistently. Like, But what was good tonight was in that league, so they haven't carried over my average yet. So from the first game, my average was 171. So technically I shot my average, which is cool because I'm thinking, there's no way I'm going to maintain a 171. Not after how far I fell in my other league. Now, my other league, we've had 2 weeks off now. We'll have this week off also because of New Year's. Because that league's on Wednesday. But that I was on my first game, I shot a 133, and then I shot a 181, then I shot a 184. Yeah. So my average was like 166. And then I went back and I proceeded to shoot like 112s. The 1 week I shot an 89. It was like, it was my first few weeks. And it was my first time having a normal bowling ball, not throwing a left-handed drilled ball right-handed, which is a whole other story, which we'll get into. So that league, I'm down to like, I don't know, last I checked, I think I'm up to like a 141 though, because I have been getting consistently better. But now with these 2 weeks off, I'm going to show up and these guys are going to think I'm a different bowler. Like, totally different fucking bowler. So we're going to get it going. We're going to get consistent. We're going to lock in. We're going to work on the spares. That's what everybody's got to do. Work on your consistency and your spares and stick with it. Don't quit. And don't try to go out and do this weird-ass crazy shit you see these guys on YouTube do. I'm going to try to get more videos. I really didn't get any videos at any practice this week because of the holidays and it was fucked up. But, I'm going to take some videos of me because you know what? I'm 6 foot. I'm 215. I'm decently athletic for a 40-year-old. And you know what? I wear a bionic wrist brace, and I fucking throw that shit up the boards and blow them fucking pins up, and the world needs more of that. Like, and I'll, and try to highlight more too of my slower game, with my pearls and stuff. I do want to try. I think next week I might, instead of bringing the Hazmat, I might bring the Criterion inverse, because that one I can play up the boards, and that asymmetric core, even though it's very mild, snaps over good going up the board. So I think I might try that. We'll see. Our next practice, we're going to try that. We're going to try to stop playing these cut shots, which when I hit them, I'm money on. I move over to like 25, and I throw it nice and easy up about, I don't know, 12 to 14 board. I watch them go up and spin, and then they hit and turn over and blow them up, and they're great. But there's a little more effort in that for me to do that. Just because I don't know how to get the rev on the ball yet. I practice a lot without my brace, but that's again the consistency. So I practice, every time I practice, I play a game, 2 games with my brace off, and then I play 2 to 5 games with my brace on. So, I've gotten really good at my accuracy throwing the ball up the boards with no brace on again, like I used to. And I can get a lot of speed on it. I can't get hardly any revs on it, so it doesn't do shit. Next time I'll actually try moving over more when I practice. But again, practice. Work on your consistency and get those fucking spares. Take care of your spares. Yeah, that's it. Everybody have a great week ahead. Keep practicing, keep bowling. It's your boy Hank, Mr. City Bowls. See you next week.